guys, what's up? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you guys are just tuning in, thank you. I want to introduce myself formally. My name is Ebony. I am a traveling nurse practitioner, and I'm here on YouTube. I actually have my YouTube for like a year now, legit, but I haven't been as active as I should be on my YouTube, so I'm kind of happy to get back to it. I'm happy, and I guess with that happiness, we need a refresher, right? So if you guys are just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. I am gonna start with a About Me video. The About Me video was based on the request from my online community. If you're tuning in from YouTube, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram for travel inspo at frontpage_eb. Don't forget the underscore. And if you guys are looking for nursing inspo, you can follow me at ebthenp on Instagram. So I have here a list of questions that you guys have asked me, which is talking about ranging from like my nursing journey to like the boards and like how did I feel, what made me become the nurse that I am, what made me get into travel NP. So we're just gonna jump right in, okay? So question number 1, when did I start my nursing journey? I started my nursing journey officially in 2010. I had graduated high school and went right into the nursing program. Now, I had to repeat my first semester of nursing over because I got a 1.7 GPA. Now, let me explain, guys. Let me explain. Before y'all come jumping down my throat, let me explain why. I mean, it's no excuse, but what did I realize had happened as to why I got a 1.7 GPA? I just came straight from high school. I mean, I had no family. I was upstate New York. I was by myself. I had friends that I went to high school with that were going to the same college as me. And from that point, like, I pretty much partied. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I pretty much partied my very first semester of college, and I got that good old 1.7 GPA that told me pretty much that I will get kicked out of the nursing program if my grades don't go up. Not only would I be kicked out of the nursing program, but I will be kicked out of the school. So I pretty much decided, you know what, time is up. I got to get myself together. I ended up like always being in the library all the time. I studied my ass off all the time, like legit. If you was to meet one of my friends, they would tell you like Library Ed was her name. Like, I stood in the library, and I ended up like graduating with my associates in science in 2013, December 2013. From that point, I decided to advance my career and get my BSN. And I went right into the BSN program in January 2014. So a few weeks later after graduating is when I went into the BSN program. And from that point, like, I was actually in the program. I didn't take my boards yet. I was studying for the boards, and I still had to graduate with my, like, walk down the stage in May of 2014 because I was a December graduate. So I had a lot going on. So when it came to taking my boards, I failed the first time. I got 75 questions and I failed significantly the first time. I was going through my mode of depression, like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Like, I went through like a very rough time, like getting over the fact that I failed, which if I had to encourage anybody that's like had failed their boards or planning to take their boards and just scared, just relax. Like, literally just relax and actually make time for yourself. So what I did the first time around was study super duper hard from day in to day out and didn't make time for nobody. The second time around that I took my boards, I gave myself a schedule. Like, they gave me a paper of all the stuff that I needed to work on, from the least of, I don't know how you describe it, but like the ones that like really I failed significantly, the categories that I failed significantly on the NCLEX, and the categories that that I like did fair on. So I started with the categories that I did really bad, and I gave myself time throughout the day to study just that category. So if it's like respiratory or cardiac, that was like the main point of like why I wasn't doing well, I would study that section for a few hours a day, and I wrapped up my day at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. and I enjoyed my night with my friends, or maybe myself watching a movie, or I would go out to eat and stuff like that. So that's just personally what I did and what helped me compared to the first time around. Like, I wasn't really eating much, I was balancing too much at the same time, and I think my mind got overloaded, and I didn't allow the time for my mind to relax and take in the information that I needed to take in. And so I didn't do well my first time. My second time, I knew I passed, and I passed with 75 questions my second time. I wrapped up my BSN in 2016, and then I decided to advance my degree again. This is where I was like stuck, because I had gotten accepted into NYU, acute care nurse practitioner, and I got accepted to Upstate Medical University for primary care nurse practitioner. I was already working for the hospital, Upstate Medical, in the ICU. So I had to basically pick which one I was gonna go into, right? I had NYU, which was acute care NP, which was something that I really wanted to do, but NYU was super expensive for me, versus primary care, Upstate Medical, which was like free for me. So it was just like, that's why I went with Upstate Medical, and here I am today, a primary care nurse practitioner. The next question that I got was the NCLEX boards versus the NP boards, the similarities and differences. So let's see, where can I start? With the NCLEX boards, you have, and I mean, I took my boards in 2014, so things might have changed since then, but I'm going to talk about from my experience with the NP board and my experience with the NCLEX boards. When I took the NCLEX boards, it ranged from 75 questions to 265 questions. And it can be like multiple choice. It was med math on there. Just all of those different kind of things, right? Multiple choice, a lot of multiple choice, med math. And it basically, you don't know when your test was going to end, right? Just that alone is pretty much nerve-wracking, right? So that's how the NCLEX boards are. The NP boards, I took the AANP to be specific. The NP boards wasn't like that at all. It was no multiple choice. It was, I mean, it wasn't select all that apply, I'm sorry. It was just multiple choice. And it was just like, it didn't have any med math. It was just straight up like, what do you give for this? What do you have to increase the dosage or decrease the dosage? So it's much different, because now you're thinking from a provider standpoint, as opposed to those questions as in the NCLEX, where it's just like, oh, what is the first thing you should do? Tell the provider or do some type of intervention. So now you're past that intervention, you're past that stage. So now you're focusing more on, what do you do as a provider? Do you treat? Do you refer? Is this an emergency room case? And if you treat, what treatment are you going to give? Are you going to increase dosaging? And just those kind of stuff was what my AANP boards was. AANC might be different. I don't know. I didn't take the AANC. I took the AANP. So everything was, to me, was straight to the point as far as what they wanted us to know. And I believe, I don't know how many questions it is. It's a set amount of questions. It's not nothing where it's like, oh my God, am I going to continue on past 75? Oh my God, I'm hitting 200s. Oh my God, am I really going to 265? Or how many questions it is on NCLEX? It was not about that. So it was just like, okay, you have 135. It could have been 135 AANP questions, and that's it. Another thing is, and like I said, I took my boards in 2014 for the NCLEX, and 2000. When did I take my boards? I took my boards in 2018, September 2018. I can't remember, around then, for my AMP. So as far as like the anticipation afterwards, like literally after you take your AMP boards, you get a printout that say you passed. I had me a good old drink after that. Like I passed and had me a good drink. Whereas I think for the NCLEX, things might have changed, but like you have that waiting period or something like that. From what I was told, now you can like pay for like your results to come faster. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a difference there as far as the AAMP versus the NCLEX boards. As far as like studying, when I took my NCLEX, I took Kaplan, and I took Kaplan twice. I just studied differently the second time around. So I took the same Kaplan course, and I studied differently the second time around. My AMP, I took Amelia Hoyler's course. I took the online course for Amelia Hoyler, and I pretty much did the same study technique that I did for my NCLEX, like as far as making time for myself, my family, the things I like to do, and studying during a certain time period. So that's it for that question. The next question that I got is, did you always want to be a nurse? No. I did not always wanted to be a nurse. I didn't have a desire to go to nursing. The desire that I got now as a nurse developed over time. I knew that I always, like when I went to high school and I wanted to like go to college, I knew that I wanted to do something in medicine. I just didn't know it was going to be nursing. And I know like some people, they know, like they have family members that was nurses, and maybe they did a nurse residency in high school and knew, but me, it was just like, okay, I'm going to college. I want to do something in medicine. It could have been anything in medicine. Like I just wanted to be in the hospital, but I didn't know that nursing was going to be the thing. Hell, I didn't even know I was going to be an NP. Like it was just like, okay, let me advance my degree. Let me advance my degree. Let me advance my degree. So that's how I ended up being like an NP. And I am, for those of you who don't know, an NP in family medicine. So the next question that I got is, what made you start travel nursing? So for those of you who don't know, I actually started travel nursing after I graduated NP school. So I graduated NP school, and while I was waiting to take, like while I was studying to take the boards, I had ended up quitting my job where I was working at while I was in school, and ended up doing travel nursing. My first travel contract was in New York City. I was upstate New York originally, and then my second travel contract was in California. So I ended up actually, studying for my NP boards while doing travel nursing. And what really made me do travel nursing was I didn't really need to be at my job anymore because I have my NP degree. So I did travel nursing. Plus, like I was an avid traveler. So it was just like, it made sense for me, like to have that flexibility as a travel nurse and still be able to travel as a traveler, if that makes sense. So I mean, I was never like the type of person that was afraid to go anywhere like that. So I mean, travel nursing honestly jet setted my inner wanderlust, I guess. Like now I like pretty much travel by myself places. My first trip solo was to Colombia. I went to Hawaii solo. So I mean, travel nursing helped me jet set my inner wanderlust, I would say. And I just like the flexibility. So, and while I was studying for my boards, I needed like that flexibility of like not having to work all the time. And so that's why I did travel nursing. I got into it for that reason. And to be honest, I kind of always wanted to do travel nursing while I was in nursing like school, like when I was studying for my my master's. But I just didn't felt it was feasible for me at that time because I had clinicals and I could have stretched it out throughout the year, but I did like 3 clinicals a week. I had work every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. I did clinicals every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I had class Monday, Tuesday. So it was just like, and I don't recommend that. That was for the birds. But It just made sense for me to be done in 2 years and just do my clinicals, get them out the way, and I was hardcore into my schooling at that time. So I didn't think about travel nursing until after I graduated NP school. Lastly, what made me become a travel nurse practitioner? To be honest, what made me become a travel nurse practitioner, I actually have to take it back to the backstory of how I became a staff nurse practitioner. I was doing travel nursing in California, and I honestly never rushed the process to be a nurse practitioner. I said, you know what, when I apply, I'm just going to keep applying. Until then, I'll do, travel nursing. It was just convenient. So I never rushed the process, and I finally decided to start applying for NP jobs. And then somebody had reached out to me in regards to urgent care nurse practitioner position. And so I decided, okay, let's do it, So I did my interview and I got the job, and I had a quick start day and everything. I was just super duper excited to be working as an urgent care nurse practitioner, because I don't know if I told you guys already, but primary care wasn't really my thing. I kind of went with primary care because it was covered by the hospital, the tuition. So I went with that per se. So urgent care is the intermediate level between primary care and the hospital, emergency medicine. So it was just okay, well, I'm happy to be a new grad that just got into urgent care. When I did my orientation process, I had 2 days of orientation with two different nurse practitioners, which I am so thankful for, because they helped me a lot throughout my nursing journey as a new grad nurse practitioner. And so I just had 2 days of orientation before I became the sole provider in that clinic, seeing about 30 to 35 patients a day by myself as a new grad nurse practitioner. So I was always texting the NPs that trained me, 2 NPs. I only had 2 days of training, so what I saw was what I saw. Everything else is pretty much what I learned while dealing and managing acute cases. So I would always text them. And now that I look at it, the job wasn't hard, but as a new grad NP, you really don't want to be by yourself. You want to be able to run ideas past people. I was literally calling the NPs while they were off, but they were so grateful. They were so super nice to me. It wasn't hey, Ebony, I'm not working today, why are you calling me? It was just okay, well, tell me about the case. Did you ask this? Did you ask that? So I'm super grateful for them. I will always love them. But I didn't feel comfortable as a new grad NP in urgent care as a sole provider of my own clinic with another medical assistant seeing 30 to 35 patients. It was just no. So after 4 months of doing that, I decided you know what, it's not for me. I don't feel comfortable, my license and everything. So I ended up quitting. After I quit, I had remembered about the locum tenens job. And locum tenens obviously are those who are travel nurse practitioners, medical providers, physician assistants. They can all be they can all be locum tenens. So I remember somebody speaking to me about that during a career day, and because I didn't have the experience, I couldn't get into that kind of field. So I decided, hey, let me just shoot my shot. I only have 4 months of experience, so let me just shoot my shot and see if I could get a position as a locum tenens, right? So long story short, I ended up pretty much shooting my shot to see if I can get a position there, and I ended up getting my first contract in primary care, where I saw chronic diseases. I also treated HIV patients as well, manage them, diagnose them, those kind of things. And so like that was my very, very, very first travel nurse practitioner contract, and I stayed there for 6 months. And then from then I decided like, bruh, I really, really like this. I like the freedom, I like the flexibility, I like working when I want to work. I like the fact that I could have, like, I did advance my degree to still do the same thing that I love to do, like do my passion. I like to travel. I just like to do so much, and I don't like the constriction, you know what I mean? And so I ended up saying to myself, like, you know what, Ebony, you're not going back. Like, you're not going back to a staff job. Like, you're not. And so locum tenens was it as far as like the flexibility that I needed. The sightseeings that I see on different travel assignments, learning the process, learning different things, because I don't know about anybody else, but a lot of people in my nurse practitioner program at that time, they knew what they wanted to do when they graduate. And me, when I graduated, I still said I would figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? I do absolutely love urgent care though. But I also like different experiences. So as a travel nurse practitioner, I've worked in several different settings. I worked in several different settings as a travel nurse practitioner. And so like, it's just my thing, you know? It's just like something that I like to do. It's something that allowed me to spend time with my family and friends. It's something that allowed me to like make my own schedule. And most importantly, it's something that allowed me to like still be able to travel different places and with no restrictions. So that was really how I got into becoming a locum tenens travel nurse practitioner. And people see that, and you know, people like that. And me, like, I love it. I love waking up every day like I'm going to work, and work is for 3 months, or work is for 6 months, or work is for a week. And now next I'm going to like California next, and I'm gonna work there for like 6 months. You know, I like that. And that's just how I really, really, really got into becoming a travel NP. The last question I got is, what's in store for Ebony next? You know what? I don't know. I take things day by day. I try not to stress it. I am working on getting licensed in many different places. I am licensed now currently in California. That's my latest license that I got. I'm licensed in DC to work out there. I'm licensed in Washington. I'm licensed in Illinois. So I'm just pretty much getting licensed in different places. I'm working with different recruiters right now to see where will I go next. I'm finishing up my current assignment, and I'm about to go branch out different places. Like, that's all I'm about to do. But you guys, thank you for tuning in. If you definitely love this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to ask any questions you would like. Don't forget to, again, to follow my online community, my social media, which is at front page eb _eb and at eb the NP. All right, guys, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and do all of that sweet things. Later.